Hello and welcome. My name is Sam, and last time I recorded me singing a song, I rambled on a bit at the very beginning. I don't want to do that, so let's jump right to it. The song is called I Gotta Tell Somebody. She kept on getting weaker as day dragged into day. The doctors gave no hope for her. She seemed to fade away. My hours were filled with constant dread. Time became a knife that slowly and relentlessly cut the cord of life. There's a teacher in the region then, some of us had heard, that he'd healed a paralytic by the power of just his word. With hope again rekindled, I went at once to see if I could find a man named Jesus from a town in Galilee. I began to search the city. Soon I saw the crowd. They were pressing in to touch him, and they called his name out loud. With the strength of desperation, I pushed them all aside. I threw myself before him, and from my knees I cried, Lord, come and heal my daughter. Even now she's close to death. Her fever's uncontrollable. She fights for every breath. And God's given you the power. Life is yours to give. You just lay your hands on her. I know that she will live. She will live. She will live. He had just begun to go with me when a face I saw with fear came towards me with the news I knew I didn't want to hear. And though I tried to steel myself, I trembled when he said, why bother the teacher anymore? Your little girl is dead. Then Jesus touched my shoulder. He told me not to grieve. My trembling stopped when he looked at me and said, only believe. Then he sent the crowds away, except for his closest men. And they followed right behind us as we started off again. We were still a long ways down the road when I heard the sounds and cries of the mourners and musicians as they strove to dramatize my grief they had no business with beneath their loud disguise. And my wife just sat there silently and stared through empty eyes. Then Jesus asked the mourners, why is it that you weep? She isn't dead as you suppose. The child is just asleep. It only took a moment for their wails to turn to jeers. Who does this man think he is? Get him out of here! With authority I've never heard from the lips of any man, he spoke and every sound rolled out with a thunder of command. And in the sudden silence they all hurried for the door, wondering what the reasons were they'd ever come there for. Then Jesus took his 3 disciples that were with him on the way. He led them and my wife and me to where our daughter lay. He took her by the hand and told her, child, arise. And the words were barely spoken when she opened up her eyes. She rose and walked across the room and stood there at our sides. Then my wife knelt down and held her close, and at last she really cried. Then Jesus told us both to see our daughter had some food. And as to how her life was saved, not to speak a word, not to speak a word. But I gotta tell somebody, I gotta tell somebody, I gotta tell somebody, I gotta tell somebody, I gotta tell somebody what Jesus did for me. I gotta tell somebody what Jesus did for me. I gotta tell somebody what Jesus did for me. I gotta tell somebody what Jesus did for me. Thank you for watching. I know I cut it short there at the end, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I'll see you later.